Hey everybody, my name is Jeff. Haven't had time to do much for videos here lately, but got a few little things coming up. And I actually lost a bunch of footage, and I've got a guy working on the computer trying to recover that. And hopefully, well, he thinks he can get some of it back at least. So we'll see what I get there. I had some video on that steady rest I made for my Hamilton 14-inch, and well, there's quite a few other little projects in there, some miscellaneous stuff and everything that way. And hopefully you can recover enough of that, otherwise I'll just get some pictures one of these times or shoot some video or each piece, do a little tour around the shop or something that way. Today I've got a little project that a neighbor has got a John Deere, I think it's a 277 mower, riding mower, and the bearings went out on the pulley of it, and when he went to replace them he found out that the hole was worn pretty oblong in the where the bolt goes through for the pulley, and it was also a case that when he put it back together the belt tensioner wouldn't work right. Well, here it's got two little pins on the bottom of it that you're supposed to line back up when you put the bolt in. He didn't realize that, so I had it lined up wrong and kind of smashed the pins a little. So I ended up, I'll get a shot of it here in a minute, but I welded it back on. Once I got the pins lined up where they're supposed to be, I had to do a little filing to get them to fit back into the holes, and welded it together so if he takes it apart again someday that won't happen again. But now I need to set it up in the little mill and bore it out. And then I'm also going to throw in this video. I've got a few shots of a project coming up where I'm working on a sorghum cane press, or cane mill as they're technically called. I've got to do some Babbitt bearings in that and get that ready for the first weekend of October when we make sorghum syrup. And so I'll throw a little video of that in where before I was taking it apart, and I've got it down here in the shop, and I'll be melting the old Babbitt out of the bearings, and I've got to make a jig for pouring the new ones because of the way it's set up. They aren't a split bearing like most. So I've got to make a smaller diameter shaft, slightly less than what the shafts on the drums are, and then machine them out to fit the existing shaft. So that'll be a nice little project, and hopefully I can get some video of it and get it on there. And I finally got caught up here for a few weeks, hopefully. Been also working on restoring a John Deere 50 tractor. It's actually some of the video I had from a year or so ago of when I brazed up the steering shaft and the shifter shaft on it. Finally started taking it apart. I was doing some video of that too with some of the, I had to take a few broken off bolts out, and some of the exhaust manifold, and welded nuts on them and got them to turn out and everything that way, and had some nice video of that. Well, of course that's part of what I lost when the computer took a dump on me. So it was a case that if you can recover that, that'd be great too, but we've got it probably better than half painted now, and got a lot of little pieces to paint yet. So I had some of the sandblasting even, and just some quick shots and video of here and there, and as we're putting it together. So maybe I can get a couple shots of it before I get this one posted and have it on the tail end here too. Is just something else, and trying to get some more out there for you, and appreciate all the viewers and everything, and love the comments, and try to respond to everybody. And thanks to everybody who's subscribed, and if you like what you see, well, please subscribe. I'll try and get more videos more often. So, thanks for watching. Okay, this is a little piece for his mower where these two indents are, or where they pressed it, so it makes a pin to go into the black piece here. And this just sets on another shaft, and the bolt goes through here for the pulley. Well, it had wore down here, so I TIG welded that, built it back up so I can get it flat again and even. I just ran a couple little beads on here to hold it in place so it doesn't move on them. What he ended up doing when he put it back together is had it almost in line with this shaft. Well, there's a lip and an edge that half of the pins were hitting on, and so it mushroomed them out a little bit on the edge. And so once I got those straightened out, you can't really tell on this end how oblong it was, but we'll get her set up in the mill and go to it. Should be a quick, easy job. I've got some bushings I got in an auction one time that had the right size in stock for it, so I believe I've only got to take off about 35 or 40 thousandths to get it two size for the bushing. So okay, this is bushing I've got that's going in it. Now 864 would be loose, so I want to press her in. Like I say, I think I needed to take about 30 thousandths off. This is actually the second pass already, so. Actually about 853 there, so another 10 out of do her. That doesn't feel like quite enough. Look at that, it might be right there. That's a lot harder. It'll be just right. Close enough for who it's for. Thanks for watching. Like I say, I'm going to try and get a little video of the other, well, some that I've already got of the cane mill, and maybe do a few shots of the tractor to show how that's coming along. This is just going to be kind of a mix of whatever. So, thanks again. Okay, this is a sorghum press. It's actually a truck wheel that Dad modified probably 30-35 years ago to run the belt on because it ran too fast otherwise. These are some pieces of pipe he added on there to guide the stalks in because I don't know just where it's at there, but I'll show that when I take it apart. There's a lip on the one roller that's broke off, and so the stalks would catch in that part of the time. There's actually three rollers, the top roller that's driven off the main gear, and well, they're all three driven off of that, but the top roller is on the main shaft. You keep about a 1/8 to 3/16 gap coming in, and you've got less than a 1/16 coming out. Take it apart, you can see a big gap up here where the babbitt is worn away, and these rods adjust your gap between the lower pulleys and the upper pulleys, so you can squeeze all the juice out of the sorghum stalk to make syrup. And this one is a CS Bell Eclipse, a number 1 from Hillsboro, Ohio. This does have the gear in the other end where we do have the shaft for it, where it's originally driven overhead by horses. You had a team of horses or a pair of ox or something that way walking around in a circle. And when we got it, it was actually set up with this other shaft with a small pulley on. I built the platform for it. Oh, that's been, I think it was back in '05 when I did that. So I'm going to take it all apart, clean the shafts up, probably have to put them in the lathe, turn them a little, and rebabbit it. I'm probably going to paint it if I can find out get some idea what the color is supposed to be. I'll weld these holes back shut from these bolts, because we won't need that anymore when I fix the edge of that pulley. That's what we're going to have going. There's a shot with the top piece off. Yeah, this is just a quick shot of the John Deere 50. You get the main frame and body painted, and I'm working on cleaning the axles up to, well, I haven't decided whether to paint them. Originally from the factory, I don't think they were actually painted, and I think they will be now though. It's in the process of going back together. Other than the cover sitting on the left there for the Briggs & Stratton engine that was part of that tiller on the Total Eclipse video, this is just some parts ready to go. Well, mainly the clamps and bolts and nuts and everything for the rear wheels, and the front hub sitting there in front, and a few other miscellaneous pieces that are painted green. It's the top and bottom for the radiator. And well, those are the side pieces over there, and it's probably going to get too bright up here, but like the parts for the brakes and the drums in the back there and the windowsill and air filter and a bunch of miscellaneous nuts and bolts and everything that got painted. And, well, this is a magnet charger for when you do magnetos, but kind of parts scattered all over the place. Another little table here with some more miscellaneous stuff, and brake pedals, and some in primer yet that's got to get done. That's one of the wheel centers there, and the other one's over here.